27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except that it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.
Hello and welcome to the 27-minute comedy hour. This week I'm joined by some really wonderful guests. We have got the fantastic Jay Sandhu, we've got Kevin O'Connell, and we've got the wonderful Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre. So please welcome them to the show. But first, in the news this week, guys, Boris Johnson's texts have got him into trouble. But unbelievably, it's not salacious sexting scandal. In fact, he's been involved by sending some messages to James Dyson. James Dyson, the wonderful Brexit supporter, who then moved his company to Singapore so that he could pay less tax, then has asked for us to be paying no tax, for his workers to be paying no tax here in the UK. That's patriotism for you, isn't it? A massive fucking flag. Meanwhile, Dominic Cummings has denied any responsibility for the leak, saying it couldn't have been me. I was current at the time. I was at Barnard Castle. Meanwhile, Dominic Cummings has accused Boris Johnson of asking for private donations to do up his flat above number 11 Downing Street, where he currently lives. Dominic Cummings called the move unethical. Dominic Cummings called the move unethical. You know it must be really bad if that's the case, right? So we're going to move on to our first game for the evening then, ladies and gentlemen. Our first game tonight is a game of... let's get rid of that. That's not all I'm meant to put up. Our first game is a game of Crackpot Comments. Here we go. Ooh, let's get that up. And our first Crackpot comment for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be, so in Crackpot Comments, I present my comedians with a comment out of context. Can they tell me what the person might have been commenting on? Our first one is, I see that his Labour goon had to protect him.
I thought that said his Labour gown. I thought it was a story about an obstetrics ward.
Well, I did wonder if this was the new name they were going to give husbands when their partners are giving birth. Oh, it's the Labour goon.
See, I thought it might have been Prince. Sorry, I mean Commoner Harry talking about Meghan, to be honest with you.
I thought it was a wolf talking about a dog that protects the human man.
They're conjuring up a wonderful alternative universe. We just thought it was badly spaced. His Labour go on had to protect him.
I like that. I thought this might have been the story of Jeremy Corbyn getting kicked out of an allotment.
If they had Facebook like in the 1930s, 1940s, it could have been like a German when the US entered the World War.
It is a very Vietnam War level Twitter comment, isn't it?
Oh
yeah. What worries me is that, like, that 15 people would have found that funny, and then some of them would have found it angry as well. Like, I don't understand their followers in that space.
Oh, I know, right? Okay, maybe this one can help my comedians out to get it right. What could this person have been commenting on? Well, there's a pub to avoid. Imagine what it's like when it comes to chucking out time.
Every Wetherspoons ever. Yeah.
Did every one of us write down Wetherspoons?
First thing I did.
Everybody just pictures that massive Brexit supporting fella who owns it. And he just looks like every person who spent the last 48 hours in a Wetherspoons. He basically is owned by a man with a tramp's hair and face.
See, I did also think it might have just been, do you know, there's always that lad called Dave that's got a pub in his back garden that keeps trying to invite you to it, and you was able to use Zoom as an excuse before, but you can't anymore.
Yeah, he's a psycho as well. Like he'll kick you out for the crack. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he wants you to try his homemade pork scratchings.
Jamiroquai has got a pub in his back garden as well, which will explain what he's been for the last 5 years. Yeah.
I thought he was storming the Capitol, wasn't he?
Okay, then. Does anyone reckon they know what this story was really about, guys? What could these people have been commenting on?
Could it be to do with the esteemed leader of the Labour Party, who you wouldn't really notice in the lineup, Keir Starmer?
It absolutely is. Yes, this is the news. This is Keir Starmer got kicked out of a pub in Bath after the landlord was pretty angry at him, claiming he hadn't done enough to counter and fight against lockdowns as leader of the opposition. Now, I was caught in a really difficult position with this one because, one, you think like this guy is obviously a moron, right? And I don't want to give him any kind of platform. But also, like Keir Starmer, like, he's so boring. This is the most interesting thing that has ever happened to him. Like,
yeah, Keir Starmer looks like he has pissed after half a pint. Like there's no excitement in the man.
See, I reckon a non-alcoholic Heineken would do it.
Yeah.
The one down that William Hink could drink under the table.
But also the guy kicking out of a pub was also fucking nuts. Like at the start of his rant, I was like, I kind of agree with him. And then he just kept going. I'm like, oh, you're fucking nuts. Like, yeah,
absolutely off your trolley. Like, was it a Wetherspoons or?
Well, no, it was a pub called the Raven. Yeah, said the Raven nevermore. We thought we'd just raise the standard here.
And we appreciate it too. I just thought like he's not even the owner, he was just like the landlord, and like they've said, oh, it's his views, like we've distanced ourselves from it. It's like this guy's just sort of gone on a rant. It's like, oh no, I would have done it to anyone, and then in a later interview it's like, actually I think Boris is doing okay. So it's like, you wouldn't have done it to anyone then, would you? Alrighty then. Well, we're going to move on, guys, to the stand-up round. Now, in the stand-up round, I present my comedians with a stand-up topic, and they've just sort of got to tell us what this person. And they've just got to come up with 3 minutes of hilarious comedy on that topic. So I've got my timer ready. We're ready with our first topic, which is going to be mental health.
Oh, I'm mental health. Yeah, I'll do that.
Lovely. All right, we're going to go with Kevin then. Kevin, your 3 minutes starts now.
Okay, so yeah, I'm mentally ill, obviously. Sitting in front of a camera on a Friday night, talking to no one. So yeah, I have depression. So having depression, it's like owning a toasty maker, because you forget you have it. And then every kind of 3 months you go, oh, wow, a toasty maker. But instead of making delicious toasties, I make myself cry, right? But this is a good job to have if like you're mentally ill or you're depressed. Like artists and comedians, we get a better break than like most people. Like Van Gogh, he's known as one of the most famous artists in the world, and he's known for being depressed. And for in one of the Mystery Depressive episodes, cutting off his ear. And people go, oh, you could see the pain in the paintings. But what if you're shit and depressed? like if I cut off my ear in the office that I temp in, they would not have a similar reaction. On a Tuesday morning, they're not going to come into a blood-spattered office and go, oh, Kevin, you created a HR disaster. But we can see the suffering in your spreadsheets. I'm not sure, like, most people don't know this, but like being mentally ill is quite expensive. Therapy is like €80 an hour or £80 an hour. So it's like, it's £80 just to talk to someone. And I think what we really need to do is like go back to kind of, the drunken therapy. Like we need drunk woman energy. Like, because drunk women are like medics in a war zone. You'll see them on a night out and there'll be one girl crying and there'll be one woman and she's like the lieutenant and she's taking control of the whole situation. She's holding back her hair and she's going, darling, you're going to be all right. And there's another one, she's shouting at her going, get her chips, get her water. And she goes, tell me what's wrong. She goes, my boyfriend broke up with me. And she goes, he's a bastard anyway. And you can tell that through all the vomit and madness, that there's a catharsis in that, better than any therapy you'll get anywhere. And that's what we need, guys, to solve the mental health crisis we have. I don't know if I did 3 minutes, but that's enough for you.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic. Alrighty then. Okay, we've got 2 categories left then. And our next category is going to be food. I'd like to step in on food.
I'll jump in. I don't know how much food socks eat, so I'll just jump straight into that. Right, food. So I don't know if you guys remember, do you know back in the day when you was able to go out for food? Like before all this shit, I remember being out with a bunch of teachers, and we was ordering food, and one of them ordered some pulled pork sliders. Okay. And they were asking me, "Oh, Jay, do you want the pulled pork sliders? They look well sexy." And I think they were trying to go for like more M&S, but it came across more Audi. But then I went, "Oh, no, I'm not." And I explained my reasons why, really calmly, why I'm not going to be getting the pulled pork sliders. Genuinely, their response at this point was, "Oh, for fuck's sake, you're one of those," and then drop the P word. Yeah, I know, right? Quite heavy. And I was like, "You're supposed to be a teacher. I mean, you're a shit one still, but you're supposed to be a teacher." And the guy carried on ranting. "You're coming here. You're trying to change everything I love. Next, you're going to be trying to convert me to one of you." All the way through this, dropping even more P bombs. And nobody batted an eyelid. No one was bothered. And it's not just me. It was like 2020 at that point, and that's a bit fucked up, isn't it? Like, it's not just me. I just think that no one should be called a pescatarian. Like, I just think it's really offensive, to be fair. But in all seriousness, I have been veggie for a while, and I am going to say something that some of you might find a bit blasphemous. I quite like a vegan sausage roll, right? I mean, they're less greasy, they taste good, and they've got the same meat content as a normal sausage roll. So it's win-win all the way around. But there is, do you know what? There is always like 1 or 2 things that keep pulling me back, and it's always like good bacon and pigs in blankets. Now, I know some of you might be looking at me going, "Pork? Are you allowed pork? Isn't that a mega haram or something?" If it helps, we're turbans and sniper dots, not letterboxes. Shout out to our Lord and Savior Boris Johnson. Do you know what? Actually, I do a bit of spoken word as well, and I've got a poem about Boris Johnson. If you don't mind me doing it, Simon, is that all good? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Boris Johnson. Right. Okay. Now, I just want to make it clear that I'm not trying to be super political. I'm not trying to start an argument or anything. I'm just going to kind of jump into it. Okay. Boris Johnson is right. Now, I know you think this might be going one way because I look like this and I said I'm a teacher. Normally, they have a view about Boris Johnson, but okay, just stick with me. Boris Johnson is a cunt. Feed the kids, twat. That's it. I feel like I'm going to start rambling about other shit. That's me done. Tag.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Sandhu.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic. Alrighty then. Well, that just leaves us with the socks. Let's hope that the fates have been kind to you, socks, because your category is Shakespeare.
Oh, I can do that. Shakespeare. Can you hellas do Shakespeare? You know nothing about Shakespeare. I know tons about Shakespeare. I once appeared in that Shakespeare play which featured 2 members of the Monty Python team. Pericles? No, just the one. And then, then I tripped over that skull that we were using in Hamlet. Yorick, yeah, I'm fine now. But then I got really ill when we were doing that Shakespearean tragedy. Coriolanus? No, I think it was just heartburn. Okay, do you think we could do Shakespeare? Yeah. Have you got the Shakespeare costumes? Yeah, I can see over there. We've got 1 pair of tights, yeah, 1 ruff, yeah, 1 big puffy jacket thing. Doublet. two big puffy jackets. Okay, I should just get my Shakespearean costume on. Oh, somebody's got a Shakespearean costume, have they? Yes. Well, I think this is probably the most impressive Shakespearean costume you'll be seeing this night, which is strange because he just sprung the title on us. Yes, he didn't tell us in advance he was going to do Shakespeare. He just happened to be outside there. We had no idea that was going to be coming up. So, shall I give them a sonnet? You can if you want. Right. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Oh, can I? Can you what? Can I compare thee to a summer's day? Do you know the poem? Poem. Yeah. What poem? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? No, can I? It's not a contest. Yeah. Yeah, but I've got an angle. An angle. Yeah. See, if I'm comparing you to a summer's day, thee. If I'm comparing you to the summer's day. No. Thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? No, I'm doing it. So if I'm comparing you to the summer's day, summer's day. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? No, I'm doing it. You can do it later. Go on then, go on. Compare me to a summer's day, the summer's day, ignorant. So if I'm comparing you, not you, thee, and not thee, that's it, off you go. So I'm comparing you, thee, to, I've forgotten what it was now. Right, so, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You might as well do now. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. If you're going to take the piss, I'm off. Listen! Could you not do this properly? If we just concentrate, we could be getting our own Shakespearean TV series, could we? Yes, we could. Look out there. There could be people there from the industry. Any particular industry? Not any particular industry. But in the words of the immortal bard. Oh, can I do it? Do you know any words of the immortal bard? Of course I know words of the immortal bard. Go on then. So, in the words of the immortal bard, don't have a cow, man. Eat my short. I am awfully sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I can only apologise. You've probably realised that one of us writes the show and the other one buggers it up. Thank you very much. We have been the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre, and so am I, and so is he. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre. Amazing. Amazing. Alrighty then, guys, that brings us to our very final round of the day. And coming on to it in nice fashion as well. We're coming on to a round of hashtag Heathens, one of our favourite games here at the 27-minute comedy hour. I'm just going to take a tweet. I've taken a tweet from Twitter that was on a trending topic. And I've removed the hashtag. Can you suggest what hashtags they might have been using? So our first one is going to be... Let this ring loud and clear to all the bad apples and the tree from which they fall. Hashtag blank.
Hashtag scrumping season come early. Hashtag Altman's reference for the kids. Nobody
hashtag not all apples.
Brilliant.
Is it hashtag accidental Einstein?
Or it could be hashtag
dares. Can I say accidental hashtag Isaac Newton?
Yeah.
Just so we can look
just to get it right. Just to get it right.
Aren't you a teacher, Jay?
Was a teacher.
Right, we can see why. We can see why.
Then it was hit by falling fruit. It did a lot of damage.
I mean, that was meant. It's why it was accidental. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I was testing you guys. Teachers can use that once a lesson, can't they? I was testing you guys. Fucking hell.
I thought this might have been hashtag European Super League.
We were wondering when we were going to be able to tick something off our ESL bingo card tonight.
There's two, isn't there? Yeah. So, like, after all of everything that's happened recently with them, I thought it might have been the Queen tweeting out and saying hashtag Princess Di, hashtag just saying Meghan.
See, I thought you was going to go with hashtag Real Prince DMX. The one everyone on my social media. Yeah, he's the only one my whole social feed were bothered about. No one cared about the other one. Like, it was like fucking RIP DMX.
All right then. Well, maybe this one will help my comedians get it. Our second hashtag is my cry is going to be so good tonight. Hashtag blank.
Hashtag Godly and Cream reunited. Another one for the kids there. Really, we are the only people who understand what we're saying.
Do you know what? I think I've got this one. Is it hashtag dressed as Batman masturbating alone with vodka?
No, I think it's hashtag my childhood bully has died.
You was bullied by a prince.
Yeah, Prince used to come into my room at night. I'll fight for 5 of them. A little red Corvette on repeat.
Sorry, was that Twitter feed of a dove?
I was going to say, did you sleep at Pizza Express Woking?
No sweat there, buddy.
I thought this might have been hashtag anal for the first time.
Is it hashtag white people can be punished as well?
Well, that's very close, Jay. Do anyone reckon they know what the actual answer is here?
If that's very close, fuck knows. I'm scared now.
Could it was the actual serious dramatic story of the week, which is, of course, the Derek Chauvin trial, where we all have to work out how his name's pronounced.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, absolutely. It's well, they went for the George Floyd trial, which is it did sound like he was the one on trial, which is maybe not best for it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Sox are winning it. The Sox are the most clued up people in the show this week.
You know what? the fact that they went with George Floyd trial is an accurate representation of the media. Love it.
Yeah,
he wasn't on trial. Yeah.
Yes, this is the news that Derek Chauvin has been found guilty of murdering George Floyd. This is the first time a white police officer has been found guilty of murdering a black man in the state of Minnesota, which seems kind of insane, doesn't it? Like, when it happens so much over there. Some people in America have been claiming that their police aren't racist. No one seems to be questioning the fact that they're murderers there. So
yeah. They actually filmed the murder and then they had a trial. Like, it's ridiculous,
right? Yeah,
like,
it's crazy, guys.
10-minute video of someone getting killed, and they're like, "Oh, we just got to double check all this."
Yeah.
Didn't it take something crazy, like a stupid amount of hours as well, for them to be like, "Oh yeah, this happened"?
Yeah, it was 10 hours for them to deliberate over it and come to a unanimous decision. Which I don't know if that's like, is that a lot? I'm not sure if that is a massively long. I don't know. I think it was a pretty cut and shut case, wasn't it? But man, yeah, I just think this was one of those really intense situations, isn't it? Like with everything that's led from the George Floyd death, and yet still this week there's just more and more cases, which is just like nothing's being learned. Like how is and people still look to us, to America, and just like, yeah, we want to be like America. Like, the only possible benefit I can see of being like America, right, is that we'll finally get to keep some of our documentary makers.
The thing with the Derek Chauvin and George Floyd trial is that it was very much like a Hollywood movie. They got to that point where it suddenly looked like it was going to be all going wrong, because the guy who is supposed to be one of the witnesses for the defense was this medical expert who suggested, of course, he could have possibly been breathing some diesel from the police car, and that might have made things worse. It's like, whose side are you on, pal? Also, we weren't sure if we were watching Line of Duty when someone starts saying he's sucking diesel.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, we're also the only people who watch Line of Duty. We are older than everybody else in this room.
I'm genuinely afraid you are the only people watching Line of Duty. I don't have to watch it because someone at work comes in and tells me in detail what happened in every single episode. So I've never needed to see an episode.
You probably understand it way better than those of us who are watching it.
No, this is one of the bits of news this week that I actually, I was watching the trial, the verdict come out, and I had Twitter up on my phone, and I was live tweeting along with the event, and I was watching Twitter live, and you know, it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. It's just refreshing a page. Like, that's all it is. Like, it was just like, you know, it always makes it sound really exciting when they were live tweeting with the event.
Whereas the result of the European Super League had you on the edge of your seat.
It almost had me burning my Liverpool top, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I think we could do a whole show on the European Super League. Maybe we'll do that as a special one day. What I did like about the European Super League, though, was I watched Match of the Day, and they just ranted about it for 20 minutes. And then they went and watched played another bit, showed some more highlights, and they just ranted about it some more. It was amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our wonderful little waffle this evening, and the end of our evening. So, guys, where can we see you guys around in the near future if our audience want to follow you guys moving forward? Kevin, where can we catch up with you?
So you can check my website for all the dates at KevinO'ConnellComedy.com, but it's not finalized yet or hasn't been put out anywhere. But on the 16th to 17th, I'll be doing my Camden Fringe show at the Etc. Theatre. So once I get everything confirmed to that, I'll be up on my website as well.
Awesome. Jay?
Everything I'm doing on social media, which will be at Sandhu Writes, SANDHU, and then Writes with a pen. You'll be able to find everything there.
Awesome. And the socks?
If you look for the Scottish Falsetto Sock at Falsetto Socks on Facebook or Twitter, you'll find out that we're doing a couple more of our Zoom shows, and we'll be going live, hopefully, starting in June in Bath.
Ooh, exciting stuff. First gigs are in. Meanwhile, you'll be able to check me out on the So You Think You're Funny Eats on the 19th of May, which I'm very much looking forward to. So please do come along and give me some support for that show. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the 27-minute comedy hour. We've tried to cram an hour's worth of comedy into just 27 minutes, and I think we've done.
2, 3, 4.
As always, I would like to thank my wonderful guests, the Scottish Falsetto Sock Puppet Theatre, Jay Sandhu and Kevin O'Connell. And a massive thanks, of course, as always, to our wonderful sponsors, Seldom Seen. If you want to get some good quality crafted materials and made with love, you can go and check out their website. They do all sorts of wonderful things. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, stay safe.
It's the 27-minute comedy hour. It's like what you see on TV, except that it's online. 27-minute comedy hour. Everything in a comedy hour except half the time.